what keeps me focused is, life's eternal and grace is infinite. That's what keeps me focused. That's what keeps me positive. As far as, why it's right to be a good person, why you should be a good person, it's a good person. Yeah, I'm not too hard on people. The people aren't hard enough on themselves. You know, Life's eternal grace is infinite. Jesus gave us the Lord's Prayer 2,025 years ago. It's supposed to be the standard of human behavior, and we're still not all understanding and living that. And we've had lots and lots of people throughout time that have explained it to us in varying degrees, because it's hard with all the fallacies and the people. You can't take words and invent what you want them to be. People do that. People do that the most with Jesus. They do it with Muhammad, yes, of course. They do it with Muhammad. They do it with, Judah Krishnamurti. Because, in the East, it's philosophy, and they understand molecular replication of structures. And so they knew Krishnamurti was the guy that the British went and got him. And no one ever explains this well enough, but they knew he was the one that they think to be most like the Krishna and the Buddha, like Krishna and Siddhartha. And then they get him, and it's like, it's real. Oh my gosh, I see why they make religions out of these guys, right? Just, whoa, You get him, and you're like, he's the real deal, And the same thing with Sun Yat-sen, through the line of Tao and Confucius and stuff. And people, I get really frustrated when people argue about words and stuff. Well, religion and philosophy. Yeah, okay, philosophy means that's your perception of your understanding of reality. Okay, and religion is also the same thing. Is a perception of understanding of reality. It's just a different labeling and term, because people corrupt. Like Krishnamurti said, when people take a word that's good and then they corrupt it, lots of people say, I love you, and then do horrible things to you. Right? Lots of people, people talk about fighting for peace, which you cannot do. So there's words, and then there's understanding of words, and then there's meaning of words, and then there's what people do with words. Okay. And so you got to understand that. It's been an emotional day. I've been feeling like a chick crying. Well, they cremated Regina King, and her son Ian, prayed to Jesus. And I know who his mom is. Okay. And so we had conversations, and I didn't know who Ian was. And then that was kind of hard on him. I was like, you don't know who I know who your mom is, basically, when he would talk to me. But, it hasn't happened to the... We didn't have the conversations till after. I didn't have the conversations till after he's gone. Okay, he's having them with me, and he's trying to talk to me, and I'm busy. And fuck. And he wants to know, like everybody else that's intelligent wants to know, when's all this bullshit gonna end, right? When's it gonna get better? And I can't give him a definitive answer, obviously. In time till I discover who he, it's revealed to me who he is, and he's, damn you fucking assholes, you scientists are so fucked. I mean, they play with shit, and they test shit, and they try to figure shit out. It's like, you don't need to figure shit out. Just live the Lord's Prayer, you stupid cuntilingus faces. I told you back in 2009. No, there's no fucking excuse. Okay, for Melinda Michelle Bowen to be dead either. Even though, the 2013, fuck that shit. Okay, they knew who the hell I was. They knew who Krishnamurti was. They had me right there. And so what do we got to do to avoid all the crappy stuff and live the Lord's Prayer? Damn, do it right then. Okay, we'd still have Michelle. We'd still have Keith. We'd still have Ian. I mean, I'd get to hang out with Keith. Keith would get to meet Michelle. It's like, you two, okay. I'm pretty sure Michelle would have really liked Keith. I think Keith would have had a thing for Michelle. She's just special. She has a strength to her that he would just go, well, I'm a Cancer. He's a Cancer. But You gotta keep those two separated, right? No, let me go. And so, but it's like, it's horrible, and there are certain things. Um, no, we can't have alternative outcomes, but you got to look at things and so what the fuck did we do there? What the fuck did we do there? What the fuck did we do there? Okay, let's stop fucking doing that, right? I'm real emotional right now. I'm connecting to a mother whose head is, goddamn Temple Set Illuminati. Okay. Oh, this is hard. All right. Guys, I was sitting there, I was watching the news, and Jennifer Lopez, she's so cute. Yeah, she's very cute, and people like her, and she likes people. And I don't know if Adrian hired her or what. She's from ASU, a little girl, B. Martinez. She's so cute. I know I can't help, but she's so adorable. Just can't stop looking at her. I did the same thing with Barbara Luna. I did the same thing with Mary McClone. Same thing with, how you get some certain girls, you just can't stop looking at them. She's so cute. I just can't stop looking at her. Well, they need to just take her off the screen now. I'm just kidding. No, it's no problem. But it's when you're around a girl like that you're with, you can't stop looking at her, and you can't stop with Law and Elena, and you can't stop putting your arms around them, nibbling on their ear, that kind of stuff. It's like, what are you doing? I don't know. I just, and so, but she is cute, and people like her, and she likes people, and she's it's cute. I can see if she did get hired by Adrian, why they hit it off so much, because they're a lot alike. Adrian's really good little drummer, isn't he? Yeah, he is, little drummer boy. I like Adrian Ochoa. Yeah, I could tell. She had this. Because the band. They call them the band geeks, or they're not. They're just the band members. They're very talented, and they're a lot of fun, and they make the game. I mean, when you hear the band, that's what that's what gets you in the mood. You smell the grass. It's getting cooler, and the band. And boo doo doo boom 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 boo doo boom boo doo doo doo. That's Mayfield. Okay. I'm more of a Trojan at heart than I am a Bulldog. They were snottier and kind of crappier, and Bradley Uppercrust III at Cruces. At Mayfield, you had the kids from the out-of-towners that are the Oregon Mountain kids now, and they had the Barrio kids. And so I got along a lot better with the Barrio kids and the out-of-towners than the Bradley Uppercrusts IIIs, So me and Cruces High, we didn't know. My family, Mayfield's just no, I liked Mayfield. I didn't like Cruces High. I liked a lot of people at Cruces High. I didn't like the whole school and the culture. I liked a lot of the teachers. I can't remember her name, the social studies teacher I had all this. She was so cool. I liked her so much. She reminded me of Cloris Leachman. She was a lot nicer and easier to put up with than those two psychologists at that Palo whatever school in Sierra Vista, and the one here at, oh God, they were hard to deal with. It's hard to deal with people like that, man. They think they fucking know something all the time, and you're explaining it to them, and you're too pragmatic, or you talk about things inappropriately. You don't understand things well enough to talk about them at all. That's what you want to say to them. You don't have a degree. I don't need a degree to know money's not real. We should be living the Lord's Prayer. And I should have already stopped human trafficking across Mexico, which provides your fucking job by now. That's what you want to say to them. You fucking stupid, obnoxious, arrogant, pretentious cunt. Just stop talking. Shut up. That's why it was so refreshing when I dealt with Miss Gregory and Miss Rich and Miss Summers. Miss Rich was an Asian lady that was married to a kid at the fort. But she was very respectful. I just adored her. She was such a sweetheart. She liked people, and people liked her. Miss Gregory was very similar. She understood kids that were bullied and pushed around and stuff like that, because she was bullied and pushed around. So she was really good at being patient and helping these kids learn to work with the other kids that were the real bullies. Yeah, she knew it. And Miss Summers did too. They called Pat Noah the protector, because the bullies would pick on the kids that didn't have any defense, and Noah was the protector of the bullied. A lot like Patrick, yeah, and a lot like me, yeah. It's just the way we are. Apples don't fall far from the tree. If Noah is biologically mine, that would be great. And me too, I know that the other three are not. because of the circumstances of the conceptions. But there was the circumstances of the conception, especially with Emily, were the same, you know. And then I thought, well, and then it's like, okay, well, there was the person she talked about a lot at work. Yeah, she'd talk to me a lot about the people that she had affairs with. She got it from Dick Wolf. Thanks, Dick Wolf, you fucking asshole. She'd watch his shows and how smart and how to outsmart other people. She always felt insecure and stupid, and she liked to outsmart other people. And I always had this thing where I made my ex-wife said it, and my mother-in-law said it, you know, Patricia, he makes me feel stupid. I'm like, I don't mean to. It's just 2 and 2 is 4. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. I'm an excellent driver, you know. Don't say that in front of other people. If you believe that money's real, then you will take money for sex, and then no, right? And so you sit there. A lot of this stuff, you Temple's Illuminati members. Okay, yeah, the sexual deviations and abuse that were based off of science projects by the scientific community, because the religious community has all this hypocrisy, and the scientific community is like, we've been, you know, like Ashley on gambling night on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know, right now I'd have 2 oxen, and she was like 12 or 13, right? And so we've been that way for tens of thousands. As soon as they menstruate, boom, it's time to, you know. And so it's just a recent phenomenon that we've tried to control our sexuality to make life better for our girls and our boys. But the institutionalization and the training sucks. And most of us are not, you know, most of us 13, 14, you know, why must I be a teenager in love, right? You know, you can't tell a 13-year-old who's in love with a 20-year-old that she's not in love with him, and she's not feeling that. She's felt it for hundreds of thousands of years. Okay? And so when he stands there and he protects her and he keeps her safe from all these scientific perverts and manipulators, and she makes him feel like the way she used to feel, you know, thanks, Jennifer. Thanks, Regina. Thanks. Yeah, I think you think so too. Okay. Hippie's cute. I like her too. I like B. Martinez, yeah. Her and Adrian are definitely invited to the barbecues. I like Jalen Lewis a lot. He reminds me a lot of my friends in the service. He's from Arkansas, and I have a lot of friends in the service from Arkansas. So yeah, I like Jalen Lewis a lot. He reminds me a lot, yeah, definitely does. I just like the kid. He just has that type of personality of all the black folks I used to hang out with in the service. And that were my friends because we had a lot in common. And we were raised to be respectful, but we don't put up with shell shit and static. Don't start none, won't be none. And we'll just, you know, everything will be cool, but just don't try to push it to the, you know. You can wash your ass. They were from Wright Pat. Chewy, Adams, and Curtis. You can wash your ass, but if you don't wash your asshole, then your whole ass will stink. I'm going to go to bed, y'all. We'll get this one loaded. We'll talk tomorrow. We'll see where we're at. I just had to make that one because I had that emotional thing from Ian's mommy, and I just wanted her to know how much I do love Ian and appreciate my prayers of him, and I love the eternity of his spirit. And thank you. All right, peace.